Right now, we're looking down the barrel of, at minimum, 4 years of very tight restrictions on crude gasoline running performance engines, not just muscle cars, not just trucks, and not just diesels. They're looking at, in fact, and part of one of these articles is that Volkswagen is completely abandoning diesel engines and they're going full electric. All right. And they're looking at beating these things. These companies are reading the writing on the wall. They know what's coming and they're getting ahead of it. These announcements are political boilerplate. I don't mean to get into politics here, but politics affects business. And this is going to affect manufacturing. And all of this is going to affect the consumer. So let's just be really honest here, okay? And whether it's good or bad, that's what happens. So getting back into it. Performance, quite frankly, high polluting engines, whether it's a personal watercraft, whether it's a motorcycle, whether it's a Camaro or a Mustang or a Challenger, these things are going to get cracked down on. It's going to happen. Okay? So the manufacturers are having to get ahead of the curve. They are getting ahead of any sort of potential repercussions that are going to come pouring down the pike. Okay? So what does that mean? What does that mean for you and me in the personal watercraft market? Okay? Well, what that means is manufacturers need to be way on top of their game when it comes to meeting efficiency standards. All right? Thus far, Sea-Doo, Yamaha, even Kawasaki all meet California CAFE emission standards. Okay? And they get a 3-star rating. That's good news. Okay? So, in considering that a supercharged SVHO and a supercharged 300 ACE and a 310 horsepower Kawasaki all meet that standard, unless the standard changes, unless California or unless these markets say, this was where we used to be, we demand more, we're going to this level, everything's cool. If that standard if that standard doesn't change in the next 4 years, we're good. Okay? We don't have to worry about, hey, are they going to take my supercharged Sea-Doo away? All right? Now, here's the problem. In California, and why does California matter to the world? All right? That's a good question. Because, quite frankly, Florida is the biggest market by far in the U.S. And the U.S. is double the size of the rest of the world when it comes to watercraft purchases. So, of the world, the globe, the U.S. is the biggest market, and the biggest market in the biggest market, the tip of the spear, is Florida. California actually fell out of the top 5 last year. All right, believe it or not, of the top 5 sellers. No, it was 5th place. Excuse me, it was 5th place. Okay, so that's a big deal. Now, the issue is that California has higher emission standards than any place else in the country. And why manufacturers kowtow to California, why the federal government kowtows to California, I really don't know. It mattered many years ago, when California was one of the largest economies in the world. Growing up there in the 80s, I'm a Carter baby. So growing up in the 80s, California was one of the largest economies in the world, so California mattered. And it was, at one point, the largest market in the personal watercraft industry. Not so much anymore. Any Californian who says it's still one of the top 5 biggest economies in the world have been wrong for, according to Forbes, has been wrong for 9 years. All right. California has effectively chased out all of its manufacturing, has effectively chased out most of its many of its technology. Aeronautics are all gone, so it's continually killing itself. We're watching the state slowly commit suicide. But for whatever reason, manufacturers are still very, very concerned about meeting California emission standards. All right, so unfortunately, the squeakiest wheel of them all gets the grease. And California is basically telling manufacturers how to build their cars, their boats, their jet skis, their motorcycles, everything. So that's unfortunate. All right. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. I don't have a solution. So anyways, California and activists within California who have an audience with Sacramento and with the Cafe Standards Board have been pushing for zero emission vehicles only by 2025. All right. Let me say this again. There is talk that California will only allow zero emission vehicles to be sold in the state by 2025. That's 4 years from now. I don't think that's very likely to pass. I think there'll be enough countersuits and promises, and quite frankly, there'll be enough politicians paid under the table. Let's just be really honest. There'll be enough crooked politicians who will suddenly have $150,000 in their bank who'll go, hey, you know what? Let's pump the brakes on this. We'll push it to 2030 or we'll push it to 2035. All right. That's just how it goes. Welcome to the crooked world. So that buys personal watercraft a little bit of time. Now, what that means for us is manufacturers really need to start looking at figuring out a way to really radically drop emissions, or B, full electric. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. This clip was taken from our weekly podcast that we record here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch the whole video, you can go to the Watercraft Journal's YouTube channel, go to playlists, and then click on live sessions. You're going to see it there. Otherwise, go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and definitely subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. And again, thanks again for watching our videos, and we hope to see you soon.